Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of A Matter of Life and Dev. My name is Paul Ketelaars,
And I'm Willem van Zandvoort.
and this episode we're going to talk about Mendix World.
So, a part of the agenda has been released since I think last week.
Yep.
We took a look at it and we were a bit overwhelmed by the amount of topics that are being discussed. So we thought we'd make a short list of 7 of the items that we think are worth watching. Obviously, everything is worth watching, but the ones that spoke to us most. And we want to share those with you. So here goes. Number 1.
The first session we want to talk to you about is everyone can build a native mobile app with Mendix. And in the topic, Daniel Roest will talk about some common misconceptions about building a native mobile app with Mendix. And I think the fun part of this session is he's also going to include some of his personal experiences. And I think that's going to make for a very fun and educational session. So this one is added to my agenda.
Yeah, for sure.
I recommend you add this as well.
Yeah, I know Danny's personal experience. We know that is a very cool story, and obviously we've been dabbling with Mendix Native, and it's really cool to learn what Danny thinks about developers building native apps, because it's kind of similar to building web apps, to like that desktop apps. It's easy to build and it's hard to master.
Exactly. Yeah. Number 2.
The next session is build better apps through structured collaboration. In this topic, they will discuss a remote first approach to collaboration, which I think for all of us is, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I think you, the audience, is mostly developers. So you are also facing a similar situation where you're working from home and you need to collaborate with your colleagues, with clients. And that can be difficult. So I'm interested to see and learn, what best practices will be shared with us.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like you said, we have the same situation, and we occasionally run into some issues with this remote working. So yeah, curious about some tips, best practices, and general thoughts.
Yeah. Number 3.
Hoeveel was dat?
6.
So the next topic we want to talk about is creating a REST service heavy native application with a non-persistible domain model. And I think the combination of those words made it interesting for me. We are building a native application as well, and we built a REST service heavy application before that one. So I'm really curious how those two mix and match, and what topics to take into account when building a REST service heavy native application. That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful, I was going to say. So I think in this case, they want to use Mendix as a front end and have no data live in the actual native application.
Yep.
So, with synchronization configurations, etc., I think having a REST-based approach is super interesting. So this is for sure on my to-watch list.
Yeah, I already thought about all these complications in my head, and I'm really curious now how they solved it. Those.
Yeah, especially performance-wise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Number 4.
LowCode at scale at Siemens. This is a topic close to our hearts, close to our experience. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this session is extremely interesting because it hopefully shows how Siemens is adopting Agile, creating app factories, bringing stakeholders from both IT and business together to create all these applications. I think they have over 120 now.
That's a lot, right?
And they are used. Some of them are used by all their employees. So I'm really curious to see what issues they run into and how they manage to overcome them.
Number 5. Building better user portals in Mendix. So I think we all know user portals. We I think I create a new account maybe every week, every month. And it is, I think, for external users, like the doorway into your company. So this is something that should be snappy, it should be flashy, it should be something that represents your company. And well, I think in this session, we will see how Delaware has done this for themselves and their clients.
Yeah, and I think in the session is also included the seamless transition from external user to the internal user, because obviously the internal user obviously has some sort of task.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's critical to the success of your company. Number 6. The next session is industrial efficiency and flexibility with MindSphere IIoT and Mendix.
It's a mouthful.
It's
again.
a mouthful. Yeah.
I'm triggered by IIoT. It's industrial IoT.
Yeah.
That's an interesting topic, and well, we chose this session I think because MindSphere is named. I'm just very interested to learn more about MindSphere.
Yeah.
It's been in the marketplace for a while now, and I'm hoping for some good examples what has been built with MindSphere.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, it's a big Siemens product.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very curious to see the integration between MindSphere and Mendix, how they manage to do that, and what it can bring us.
7. We have a live AMA with Johan Den Haan, Mendix CTO. I remember last year's session with Johan. That was a lot of fun to watch. So I'm already making my short list of questions I want to ask Johan. So you better watch out. I have some pretty tough questions for you. So no, but I think this is going to be a fun session.
Yeah, totally agree. He's going to do the session live.
Yeah.
From Rotterdam. So bring all your questions you have regarding the keynote he did that morning. And it's going to be fun to watch him answer all the user questions, because I think every developer has a couple of questions ready. So really looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
Besides the sessions we just mentioned, there are obviously a lot more sessions and a lot more sessions being announced, because this was only part of the agenda. So we want to quickly mention the keynotes.
Yes.
There's a keynote by Derek Rose, there's a keynote by Johan Den Haan, and there's a keynote by Simon Sinek.
Yep, and one more to be announced.
There are tons of customer cases, which are already also very interesting, but very personal. So we didn't mention any of those. But the most important thing is you should definitely register yourself for Mendix World 2021. Create an account, build your own agenda, and create your own agenda for sessions you find interesting.
Exactly, and they might overlap. But that's the beauty of having an online event. All the videos will be available later, so you can watch them.
Besides the keynotes.
Yeah. But you can watch them back anytime at your own leisure. And I think make something that we would. Dit gaat. Ik wil zeggen, maak van iets slechts, iets moois, maar dan krijg je zo.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.